Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whoever you are, wherever you may be. You've just stumbled across a corner of the internet unlike any other. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Business Funding Nation, the no nonsense, unfiltered source of financial wisdom in the podcast world for business owners and aspiring loan brokers. This is where we cut through the noise, we get real about business financing, and equip you with the knowledge and the strategies that you need to conquer the financial game. Hopefully, have a laugh or two along the way. Folks, quick heads up, disclaimer time. We are not your lawyers, we're not accountants or CPAs. For
Nope.
all you know, we're just a couple of knuckleheads with mics. We're talking about the things that we've learned, what we've learned going through the school of hard knocks, what it's taught us about money and business. So remember, take our words as friendly advice, not gospel. Always get your information double checked by the pros. Viewer discretion is advised. However, taking the reverse side of that, we are here for those of you who are hungry for knowledge,
Yep.
those of you who are ready to take on the lessons that we've learned, use that information, transform and avoid your own face plants and earn your victories in the world of business finance. We may not be certified experts, but we've been through the ringer a couple of times. We've come out wiser on the back end because of them. So with that, viewer aggression, not just discretion, is advised. So let's get this show on the road. Mr. Keenan Steele, how are you doing in this new year?
Hey, Jose, good to see you. Good to talk to you. I'm doing good. It's been a good year so far. We're only into a few days, but it's cold down here. I don't know where I know you're located up in the Northwest, but it's about 12 degrees where I'm at, and the entire metroplex of Dallas Fort Worth has just completely shut down. No school, no restaurants, no getting out, nothing. And it's probably a dusting of snow compared to what you guys see. How are
Yeah,
you
that's
doing?
short weather for me, dude. Like, I'm looking at 10 degrees below zero with the wind chill of like 25 below. So I have to cover up a little bit at that point. But in your conditions, I'm still wearing shorts.
Man, I tell you what, I had to go outside, so I put my golf shoes on. Maybe I could get some traction, finally through the
Mhm.
snow. But we stay inside, man. Just keep rocking and rolling. How's the real estate business going in 2024?
It's definitely changing. The landscaping or the landscape of the real estate world is changing. There are some things that are happening externally with the Fed. There's a lot of talk of interest rates coming down. Some of our lenders have brought down their interest rates depending on the type of exit strategy that you have. Fix and flip properties, unfortunately, those are holding steady. Hard money is hard money, but the interest rates more affect the back end refinance if you're going to be holding on to that property as a long-term rental. So that's where that factor comes into play. But generally speaking, things are pretty steady. Lenders are starting to get a little bit more comfortable to, where the market is, what's happening with the lack of inventory in the market. So yeah, things are adjusting. All we can do is observe, pivot, give out as much information as we can to our clients and do the best we can to keep their best interests at heart. How is the world of equipment financing down there?
Man, equipment financing is going good. Like you said, there is like right now, there's some people are seeing some of the vendors that we work with are seeing a lot of like declines in equipment, not enough equipment to find. So maybe that's a sign of a good economy. Hopefully turning around. Also, this weather right now, it's cold across the entire nation. So I think that slows a lot of people down, especially, up north from buying equipment, starting new jobs. We've still got a lot of good promos. 12 months of no payments has been extended forever. So now we can be able to get people in the program, equipment financing, with you'd have to put some money down, obviously, but then you get on the backside, you get 12 months of no payments on the end of the loan. We've got some pretty good story programs now that have come out that don't require FICO. So if you have experience in equipment financing, excuse me, if you have experience in a backhoe service, you're looking to buy a backhoe, something like that, we'll be able to get you into a backhoe, no money down. Um, and move forward on that. Let's see what else we got.
Now on
We
those
got
equipment programs, dude, are if I wanted to go out and buy, computers for my new office staff, does that 12 months of no payments, does that fall into under that umbrella, or is it only specific equipment that we can go after?
No, it's only specific yellow iron equipment. So anything like your bulldozers, your skid steers, your graders, anything that's painted yellow, your backhoes, graders, scrapers. That's what falls under the 12 payments and 12 months of no payments. Now, do we have other financing programs for office equipment? Absolutely. We can do like a 36-month lease, then where that way the business owner gets new computers, new desks, new chairs, whatever office furniture they may need at the end of 36 months, they then trade it all in and get all new stuff back. So we have multiple financing programs depending on what your business is and what your business needs are.
Very cool, man. I like that. That's an interesting take on the equipment finance space. Until I was working with you directly, I had
Mhm.
no idea there were so many options available to business owners for
Oh
those.
yeah, we could even finance non-U.S. permanent residents. So if you know somebody that's still using a or has an ITN, I think that's right, ITN,
Yep,
I-10
ITIN.
number. Yeah,
Yep.
sorry. We can even finance people with that. So trucks, construction equipment, people that have no credit scores or non-US permanent residents, we can get them financing. Now it does require a heftier down payment of 25 to 40% of the piece of equipment, but it's also a way that you can get in this piece of equipment. You can go make a living, you can get out of your 9 to 5, and you can start your own company, the American dream.
Awesome.
Yep. What are we going to give away today, Jose?
Today I want to give away to the people that are in the real estate space. I'm going to share a spreadsheet that I use to kind of calculate what the net projection of profit is going to be on a residential fix and flip. So for those of you that stay on and stay tuned with us until the end of the show, I will definitely let you know how you can get a hold of me, so that way I can share this template with you. Or even if you are a real estate investor and you just have absolutely no idea how much money you're actually going to generate on the back end outside of using your typical Mayo formula, get a hold of me. I can definitely share the template with you and hopefully help you become much more involved with the actual numbers of your deal and calculate what your ROI is going to be. So I would like to start the next segment going over exactly that, how to calculate ROI on real estate loans. And then Keenan, I'll pass the floor over to you, and maybe we can dissect how equipment financing works.
Yeah, let's do that. So I just want to give a real quick shout out to Oz Konar and the Business Lending Blueprint for the training that has allowed us to start our careers as a commercial loan broker. If anyone's listening to this podcast and is ready for a career change, tired of your 9 to 5, or looking for an opportunity to help business owners access capital and funding, then you need to visit our website at www.businessfundingnation.com. Scroll down to the bottom and click on learn about the BLB here. That's Bravo Lima Bravo here. So you can explore the benefits of being a business loan broker. Okay. So make sure you go to businessfundingnation.com, scroll down to the bottom, click on BLB, learn about the BLB here.
Awesome. Well, again, guys, the this segment is going to be about calculating ROI, and the world of real estate can be pretty complex. Depending on what exit strategy you're using, yeah, you might even have an acquisition strategy that is very different from your traditional acquisition models. So I want to make it clear, this particular segment is about analyzing fix and flip residential properties. doesn't you can use it for commercial. However, there are a couple of components to that equation that make it radically different from the residential piece. So it is specifically for single family homes or up to 4 units, residential properties, that you are going in acquiring it with hard money and then either selling it or refinancing it on the back end once the project is complete. So
Got a question.
go ahead.
Couple of questions. What is hard money? I know I probably asked that before, but what does that mean? I see it all the time. Hard money, hard money. I think people just like saying hard money.
So hard money is, when you hear hard money, it really means it's expensive money. It is money that you are strategically using in order to acquire a piece of asset that is going to drastically increase in value once it's gone through its process. Now, within within the real estate world, hard money exists because the underwriting criteria in order to get into those types of loans is drastically different. If you go in and you apply for a traditional mortgage, it's what's considered a full doc loan. So they're gonna go over your credit score, they're
Mm.
gonna go over your income, they're gonna go over your debt to income ratio. So only a small number of people that apply for a traditional mortgage is actually going to get approved. Your interest rates are then based upon the results of all of that underwriting.
Okay.
Within real estate, the investment world, getting into a hard money loan is considered low doc or even no doc process, which means that they may ask to take a look at your credit, but they don't necessarily care about how much money you make. They don't care if your credit cards are almost maxed out. So from the lender's perspective, there's a lot more risk involved because they're not asking all of those questions. They're more taking a look at the collateral, the property itself, the project itself, to see what kind of returns it's going to be making.
Okay. Another question, and I'll let you get on to this. When you mean 1 to 4 units, does that mean a single story apartment, a single story house, or does that mean buying like a condominium complex where there's 4 units in there? Does that, or can you buy 4 single story houses or,
So the
single
term
residence?
1 to 4 unit would mean one building that occupies up to 4 residential apartments within it. It does not apply to 4 individual houses. It's a one, either a three flat with a garden apartment or a fully standing property with 4 apartments inside of it that you can then rent out,
Or a single family home?
or a single family home. Correct.
Oh, gotcha. That's
Correct.
why I don't mess with real estate. If you're listening to this and you like to play in the dirt, you understand where I'm coming from. Okay. So that's why Jose is the real estate king. And I just ask stupid questions that he tells me I need to ask.
Well, questions are not stupid. The people that don't ask these questions are the ones that remain stupid
Yep.
because they don't get clarification, they make assumptions, they act on those assumptions, and that's when people find themselves getting into trouble. So, with that being said, guys, again, hard money, residential fix and flip properties, the very first thing that's going to slap you in the face is the interest rates. The interest rates on these loans are they're high. So you can typically expect a hard money loan to come in at 15% on the interest rate. Now, depending on all kinds of different factors, you do need to produce some type of down payment on the property, especially if this is the very first fix and flip project that you're going to get into. The the myth of 100% financing is just that. It's a myth. Lenders do not give you the option of going in at 100% on their dollar into a project, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Now, there are some other components that can play a role into reducing the impact that it will have on you actually digging into your own pocket for that down payment. For example, we have a great program that if you have a 680 plus FICO score and the credit profile is deep enough, we can go out and get you term loans and business credit, which you can then pivot and use to supplement the down payment requirement. Now, yeah, again, those are well qualified individuals. If you have that, that's one of the things that separates us from our competition in the investment world, is that as brokers, we have more to offer you outside of project funding. So either way, interest rates 15%. Now, that will have an impact on how much money you're going to be making on a given project. Give or take, when you take a look at when you're walking through a property, the most important thing that you can do is make note of what the estimated repair costs are going to be on that property as you're walking through it. Okay. If you don't know what you're doing, I would highly suggest walking through with whoever you think is going to be your GC. Have them write down what that estimated rehab budget is going to be, because if you get that number wrong, I will show you here shortly, you can throw off your entire project and it'll go into the tanker quickly. So keep that in mind. The other thing is to make sure you have a reliable real estate agent on the back end that can produce what's called a BPO, or a broker's price opinion, on what the estimated value of that property is going to be once all of the rehab work is done. If you have those two numbers, we can very easily calculate exactly how much estimated profit you will have on the back end. So let me I'm going to share my screen with you here quickly.
Let's do it.
Um, there is a calculator can you see that, Keenan?
Yeah, but is your beard looks like it almost looks like an Abraham Lincoln beard going on
That's what
there.
I'm going for, dude.
Okay. Okay.
There's a story behind this. There's actually a big reveal that
Oh,
I'm
gender
kind of
reveal
going through a
coming out.
transformation process right now. So I mean, I'm not
Uh,
saying that I was aesthetically pleasing before this, but there's a reason for all of this mess. So
okay.
just bear with me, bro. It'll be off in a few weeks.
All right.
Um, so okay, we've got this spreadsheet here. This is the template that I'm going to be sharing with everyone. I'll tell you exactly how you can contact me so that I can share this spreadsheet with you. So, typically speaking, again, the big number to take away is your ARV. So, let's say 21 Main Street is going to take us 6 months to complete. And let's say that the estimated repair value, or the
Mm,
ARV, is going to be $500,000. Okay. We put that number in, we put the property under contract for, let's say, 250,000.
that
Our
means we're
rehab
purchasing
number,
that, right?
yes, correct. That is the contractual price that we have to pay the seller. The rehab budget, let's say, is going to take $75,000. Our closing costs, which is something that I can produce for you once we start talking about all of these different factors, I can give you this number. So our closing costs typically are about 15,000. That includes your down payment. The down payment, the magic number to have in your head, if you're a first time investor, is 20%. You have to have 20% of the purchase price as your down payment plus your closing costs. So keep that in mind, guys. Okay. Um, Holding costs here is also a component that I can help you calculate, because if the property is going to be needing, you're going to be needing electricity, you're going to be needing gas, you're going to be needing all kinds of little things that can, chip away at your overall profitability. if you don't keep those costs in mind. So I like to calculate a certain percentage of the deal into that bucket just so that you have a good control over the little expenses that you're going to need in order to maintain the property and maintain the project and to keep it going. So under this under this scenario, we are looking at a total hard money loan of $325,000. Okay. The gap loan, which is this number down here, that tells you if you were working with a gap funder, you would need to go and petition with them an additional $47,000 to get rounded up to 48,000 in order for you to get into this deal at 100% financing. That would be adding a second lien onto this project. Okay, the gap funder would file and get a second position for $48,000 on this deal. Okay, so again, 15% interest. Typically, there's 2 points that is charged on the loan. And our lender are for our first time investors, they will borrow up to 65% of the ARV. So that means 65% of this $500,000 number, your purchase and your rehab have to fit into that equation. So 65% of $500,000 in order for it to be approved, that is where you have to be. Okay. So with all of those numbers put in, the minimum profit that I like to use or I like to give out and suggest to my clients is 10% of the ARV. Okay. So in this scenario, it would be $50,000. The projected profit on this deal, if the numbers were to hold true, is $67,000. So if this scenario was 100% accurate, the investor would walk away with 67,000 after all expenses have been paid. So now, what happens if you get into it instead at 300,000 in
Wait,
your
Jose.
rehab? Go ahead.
So, I'm a numbers guy. I'm always punching numbers. That right there is so. Let's say that you got the $67,000 in 6 months. It took you to build up. You would make $11,166
A month.
per month.
Yep.
That's pretty good money right there, guys.
That is very good money.
Yep.
That is very good money. Now, again, taking into thinking long term here, if you have good credit and you're able to leverage some of our other working capital programs to get yourself into two of these projects simultaneously, that is a complete life changer. So even though you may not have good credit right now, I highly suggest you start looking into resources to get that up and going because life gets so much easier with good credit. So going back to changing this, let's say that you get under contract at 300,000 and your rehab budget now went up to 100. Okay. Now that's showing that you're actually going to be losing almost $8,000. Okay.
That's my type of real estate. I've been down that road before. Yeah, I'm good at losing money.
Yeah, yeah. So this would be the type of deal that I would tell my client right off the bat, hey, you know what? Don't waste any more time on this deal. Just move on to the next one. Okay. Now that is also assuming that the rehab or the resale price is 500,000. If you take a look at my calculation down here, in order for you to even start to break even, you'd have to sell it at 510,000. You'd walk away with $925. You can go all the way up to 520 and you would still walk away with almost 10 grand. But using that per month breakdown, at $10,000 plus all the headaches, the stress of managing a rehab project, is $10,000 really going to be enough for you to hold on to this property for 6 months? So those are the things to take into consideration. That is the calculation for an ROI on a residential fix and flip property. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I like it. I like it.
Cool,
That's
cool,
why I
cool.
stick with bulldozers and skid steers. That's a lot easier to understand.
It can be complicated. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna try to
Uh,
sugarcoat it. It is a it's an acquired taste, that's for sure. But you know me, I'm definitely I have been continue to be an oddball for
yep,
my entire life, and I'm also into masochism a lot apparently. So it fits my personality. I love this aspect of the business. So for me, I can talk about this stuff all day long. But
I love it.
so yeah, so debt accumulation, guys, really quick. If an investor comes to me and says, "Hey, you know what? I'm really concerned about how much this project is going to cost me." Number one, yes, that is a very good objection to have. It's a good fear to have. However, if the numbers work out, I've just showed you, if we can calculate and project how much net profitability you're going to have on this deal, number one, the debt itself is going to be paid for. Okay. Number two, the loan itself is going to be held in your entity's name. So the EIN number, the business name is how the title is going to be held. So this debt is not going to be appearing on your personal credit. So you don't have to worry about all of a sudden $300,000 showing up on your personal credit and knocking your credit score right off the rocker. There is that protection of business and personal credit, and thankfully these do fall under the commercial umbrella, so you don't have to worry about that impacting your personal credit.
Hey, Jose, let's go over. We've covered it before in other podcasts, but what name do they not want to name their LLC?
Good point, man. I was just about to bring that up. Guys, stay away from the name real estate, properties, anything indicating to a bank that you are in the real estate investment space. They can and have declined even opening a bank account for you if that is it's in your name. The reason for it is because the real estate industry, specifically fix and flip, they have been flagged as a forbidden, restricted industry. So you're going to have a very difficult time getting traditional bank financing and even opening a bank account if that is in your name. Now, you can always set up a DBA. So you can set up, Keenan's you know, consultants as a general business name. That's what you register with the state. But then you operate under your DBA, which would be, Steele's money making real estate. And that is how you can kind of, circumvent and make sure that your branding is on point.
Oh, okay. So I got a question about the LLC. I know we're kind of getting off topic here, but um, when they file this LLC, they can't right off the bat. How do they show profit? How do they say, okay, now I need to go get credit? Do they have to start building business credit with this LLC? Does that help?
It does help. And the reason for it is because if you have business credit, one of the things that is kind of baked into the spreadsheet that I just shared with you is the rehab number. The component of the rehab number is your material cost. If you have good established business credit, you can go and open up a a commercial credit account with Home Depot, with Lowe's, and you
Mm.
can take control of that aspect of the cost sheet. So you instead of you relying on your GC to come back and hopefully not add on to the material costs, you can take all of that guesswork out, go in, buy on credit, pay it back as soon as you're done with closing.
Awesome.
So that's definitely a good strategy to have.
Okay. I want to, hey, let's keep talking about real estate, but first I want to take a word from our sponsors, one of our sponsors. And so, anyways, I want to thank our sponsor, BDA Solutions. If your business is struggling because of lack of capital or you wanted to fund a real estate project, reach out to BDA Solutions. Get a free business consulting call. These guys can help with cash flow. They can help with business credit. So many other options. This is the guys that I trust with my real estate projects. So, if it's all right with you, Jose, let's keep going with this real estate deal, and we can talk about the other part that we were on another podcast because this and
Absolutely, no problem.
real estate's interesting. And I know
I
there's a
think you got
lot of
an itch, dude. I think I'm gonna be that what scratches that itch and get you reeled into the real estate world.
you
Kind
know,
of
I get
understand the tone, the undercurrent that's going on here.
well, it's kind of like this, guys. Is if you know me, you listen to me, you are one of my referral partners, one of my mentors that I work with one on one. I tell people, what can I fund today? It's all
Yep.
about money to me. Okay. That's why I'm in the equipment business, equipment financing business, because I can fund that stuff in 24, 48, 72 hours. Real estate takes a while, and there's so many different things you got to learn about real estate. It's not that I'm not interested in real estate, but it's just like I see so many real estate deals fall through. Jose and I talk all the time. We've got a lot of referral partners in the Business Funding Nation referral group, mentorship group that want to fund real estate, and then they see that it's like, oh shit, this thing might not close till next month or the month
Right.
after, and it's like, how am I going to pay my bills? And so we tell everybody it's good to have both sides. You want something that you can fund today, and then you want some items down the road that will fund in your near future. So that's kind of why I'm interested a little bit. But as far as real estate experience, I've done nothing but lose money in real estate. But I'm kind of coming back around. So continue on with your speech. That was my little. I had to get on my high horse for a minute. Sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. It's actually a really good thing that you're bringing up some of these questions because I'm sure if we have people in the general audience that might have the same itch that I kind of feel that you have, where I want to ask more questions. I really want to get into this real estate thing. It's best to have as much knowledge up front so that way you know exactly what to expect when you start looking seriously into either analyzing a deal or even when you get over that hurdle and you're applying for financing, you know the terminology, you know exactly what's coming your way, and you can best prepare yourself to not only get the best deal, but also make sure that you're getting some profitability on the back end.
Yeah, especially with your calculator that you use, spreadsheet that you just had. What does somebody's credit score have to be to get even in the ballpark to a first time person? Okay, so let's say I find this house next to door to my mother's house, and it's kind of not dilapidated, but it needs some rehab. And the lady is like, "Hey, Keenan, I know your family. We're really just I'm needing the money. I want to get out of this." And I'm like, "Okay, let's say it's worth 500,000. Okay. But then she's like, I want to sell it to you for 300,000. Okay. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, that's 200 grand. How do I even go about this? I don't have an LLC. I might have decent credit. I've never rehabbed a house before. So how does somebody like that get in? What's the process like?
So the very first thing is if you're seriously contemplating putting in an offer on a property, get an LLC set up. Okay.
Okay.
Um, if depending on what market you're in, if you're in a really hot market and properties are just flying, what I would say is put it on, try to get it under contract. Once you have it under contract, then you can initially go out, set up your LLC, and just have them transfer the contract over to the entity. So
So the
that way,
entity doesn't have to have business credit established or nothing.
no, you can literally go
Mm,
out, create an entity today, and apply for this type of financing tomorrow.
okay.
Yeah, business credit, business tenure overall has no effect on you getting approved for this type of financing because the primary vehicle is your experience and the collateralization of the project. So they're going to look at your exit strategy first and foremost to even make a determination whether or not they're going to underwrite the file or not.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Now, with that being said, guys, do not overestimate how much weight is put on the collateralization of the property. We Keenan, you and I, again, we talk every day. We just recently had a client that has a multi-million dollar piece of property. He owes very little on it, but we're having a very hard time getting him approved for it, not because the collateralization isn't there, but because he doesn't have the revenue to pay for said note if we were to get that thing refinanced. Now, again, that's a commercial piece of property, so there's different analytics that go with it, but most people assume that, oh, well, the property is definitely going to hold its value, so therefore, none of the other metrics that apply to me are going to be applicable. It doesn't matter. You try to be as proactive as possible so that you have more options available to you, both on the front and the back end of the deal.
Okay. So let's say that purchase this house next to my mom's. Okay. And we go and steal, I don't know, investments. I sign an LLC or steal investments or whatever it may be. So now I got this investment. So now I got this LLC. I got this contract on this house. They're going to transfer the contract to steal investments. And can I use investments or is that not a good one either?
On the actual entity, the recorded state documents, I would not use investments on there.
Okay. Steel consulting.
There you go.
Okay. So I got Steel Consulting LLC. I just got this contract, this house under contract. I want to go to the bank or I want to go somewhere. Do I still have to personally provide all my financials and then my credit score and sign for this loan that's in Steel Consulting's name, right?
For our programs,
Yes.
no. We will ask you what your credit score is. Let Hold on, let me back up, okay? Depending on what your exit strategy is going to be, will determine how much of that information I need to pry out of you. Um,
Okay. So if I'm
if
looking to get in this thing, fix it up, and then flip it to make 100K.
Okay, if that is what your exit strategy is, I will be asking you what is your credit score, just so that I can best serve your situation. If you have good credit, and by good credit I mean 650 and higher, I might have a lender that would be a little bit more lenient on your down payment requirement, for example. But if you have really bad credit, it's okay. We can still get the thing financed for you. However, minimum 20% down payment is what you will need, plus your closing costs to get into this deal.
So basically, they're using the house as the collateral.
Correct.
So they know, do they look at the contract price of what you're purchasing it for?
Absolutely. That's
Okay.
one of the documents. Once we do the preliminary um analysis on the property, take a look at it, get a general idea of what the market value for similar properties are going for. If that all checks out, the very next document that I'm going to be requesting to officially get it into underwriting is the purchase contract for that property.
Gotcha. Okay. And then at that time, does a person have to have an estimate or a bid from a general contractor to fix it up?
Not only an estimate or a bid, but also a detailed scope of work. So part of the funding that you will be receiving is rehab funding. So the lender is not going to just dump. If you say that the rehab budget is $65,000, you're not going to walk away from closing with $65,000. The lender is going to protect their investment, and they're going to want you to detail out how the work is going to be completed. So you will have different phases that you will have to complete. The lender will be sending out an inspector to make sure that the work has been completed according to the scope of work and also according to code. So that way you're not doing shitty work and then putting a compromising a future homeowner, trying to cut corners and save a buck here or there.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, nice. What other exit strategies do people have? I guess maybe I shouldn't go down that road. I guess we're just doing fix and flips, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, primarily fix and flip.
Okay.
If especially if you guys are just looking at you're entertaining the idea, stick with fix and flip. There, I mean, you do have the opportunity to refinance the property on the back end. However, you do have to have good, strong, established personal credit in order to pull that off. So if you are looking at rental properties, um, distressed properties are a great source for you to get a discount and get even higher profitability on the back end when it comes to collecting rents because you would have controlled the acquisition portion of that. However, if you have bad credit and you're looking at properties as a rental um exit strategy, it's not going to work. No matter, how much equity is left in the property after you're done with it. If you have bad credit, I can get you the acquisition and the rehab portion of it, but you're going to have to sell that property once it's done. I cannot take you to a lender with a 570 credit score and expect them to give you a 30-year note on that property because things just don't work out that way. So keep that in mind. Bad credit, get it addressed, but stick to the fix and flip exit strategy as that's evolving.
Cool. Okay. All right. Well, like you got, like guys, like I said, we're talking about equipment on here. We talk about fix and flips, real estate. We're gonna start talking about way more working capital loans, lines of credit, term loans, different loans and stuff that we can offer to different business owners. Okay. That's what this is about. Also helping loan brokers, because everybody wants to get into real estate. It's all about the easy money. But we also like to kind of dissect a little bit about, um, you know, the return on investments when it comes to real estate, return on investment when it comes to equipment, which we're going to cover next week, and do a deep dive into equipment. But it's really important, man. These real estate deals, there's money out there all over the place, and people just have to put a little effort into it to make it work. So, 60
Absolutely.
grand, $67,000 in 6 months, I'll take that all day long.
Absolutely. Now, before we move on, dude, I also want to give a quick shout out to our other sponsor, Pro Business Funding. They stand as a trusted partner for business owners, providing a streamlined access to working capital and equipment financing solutions. They specialize in empowering businesses with the financial resources needed to thrive and expand their operations. Their commitment to flexible financing options make them the go-to source for businesses seeking to fuel their growth and operational success. So again, guys, look into Pro Business Funding. They will take the best care of you if you're looking for that type of financing.
Right.
So yeah, dude, to kind of, put a bow on it, options open up with great personal credit. It really starts there. I'm working with a client right now who he's taken on our advice. We were able to get him into three fix and flip deals over the summer. The guy is absolutely killing it. He's down in Oklahoma City.
Awesome.
He's working on his credit. He's getting that kind of hammered out. He also went out and got a credit partner, and so now they are partnering up. She is helping him get access to working capital through our working capital program for real estate investors. So they're going to be getting their hands on almost $100,000 in the next, 2 weeks, hopefully. And I mean, that is going to make a huge impact on how many projects they can get into moving forward,
Yep.
because now they have, the money for the down payment. They have money to put out for rehab in case the lender says no on some particular rehab component that they want to plan out. So options are a beautiful thing to have in the world of real estate investing. So keep that in mind, guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jose, on that. So, hey guys, if you're a business loan broker and you've completed all the training steps in a BLB, and you're needing to help or want to fund a couple of deals with Jose and I, and get some deals under your belt, hey, go to Business Funding Nation. and scroll down, fill out the form that says join the team, and one of us will reach out. We're here to help business owners, business loan brokers, just like yourself, succeed in business. And we work one on one with multiple referral partners on a daily basis.
Awesome. And before we close out, I do want to deliver on the promise that I had at the beginning of the video. If you guys are interested in getting your hands on that spreadsheet where it calculates the profitability of a fix and flip project, go to my website. It is bdasolutions.biz. Again, it's beta delta alpha solutions.biz. Go to the contact us page on there and write me a quick message saying, hey, I saw you on the Business Funding Nation podcast. I wanted to reach out so that way we can talk about the spreadsheet for real estate investors. I'll be more than happy to email it over to you, dissect whatever projects you have going on and take you to the next level in the real estate world. So thank you guys for joining us on the latest episode of the Business Funding Nation. We hope that you found it informative. We hope you had a laugh or two along with us. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, share our podcast with your family and friends. If you have any suggestions for future topics, please leave us a comment below, and we will be more than happy to take that on and develop an episode around it. Remember, as members of the Business Funding Nation, we play hard, we laugh hard, but we learn even harder. Thanks again for joining us. Become a part of the community at businessfundingnation.com, where you can start today, grow tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys soon. You bad mother funders, Business Funding
All
Nation out. Take it easy,
right.
guys.
Thank you.